Welcome back. We are here on what's the name of this channel again? Pixel. I'm Pixel. Believe it or not, joined by Landry Q Walker as we're discussing a Game of Thrones. What are the chapters? Eddard 2, Tyrion 2, Catelyn 3, Sansa 1. Fun. Till her daddy takes her freedom away or something like that. I'm excited. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited because I feel like as slow as we are going through this book, we're still outpacing the writing of Winds of Winter. So we're going to catch up.
You're going to get in trouble, sir.
Don't
You're
tell
going to get in
George.
trouble.
Don't tell George.
Actually, I didn't really talk about it. We do need to get on to topic because Lord knows we haven't talked about it in forever. But the Mad King play that is you haven't heard about it?
No.
So in London, the Royal Shakespeare Company, they have a play. It's called A Game of Thrones, The Mad King, and it's all about the turning at Harrenhal leading up into Robert's Rebellion.
I want to see this play.
I do too.
I'm in.
We just need to go to London right now.
Because we have this podcast, we have a responsibility. Our viewers need us to report on this. And so I think this is one, clearly some kind of deductible wise because it's business. We have to go to England, Pixel. So I'm going to warn you. My camera, something happened to my camera recently. I have a new one coming, but I'm doing this all through my phone, so it does cut in and out from my perspective a little bit. Because you can see my camera is actually right here. Anyway, and at some point we should probably talk House of the Dragon. I also feel like are you watching it?
I've caught up.
I am also caught up. I think there's some interesting conflicts going on behind the scenes between the showrunner and George R.R. Martin on that one. It's intriguing.
Toxic little butterflies.
Oh yes, it's interesting because having worked with George on an adaptation, the whole point of the adaptation I did was to do everything we could to preserve his vision. That is the existence. So I'm not judging the showrunner here either, because I don't work in that medium, and his mandate was different than my mandate. But I really enjoyed being in the service of giving as faithful as an adaptation as possible. For as much as I'm enjoying the show, on a creative end, I liked taking George's direction as literally as possible. So I have of course, so I may have a very personal experience with people. It's affected my enjoyment at all of the show, but I could understand from what little I know, and I have no insider knowledge on any of this, zero. I just see what anyone else sees on the internet. I get to understand if George is not happy with the adaptation, if that is correct. I could understand why his work is very important to him, and the faithfulness. Still enjoying the show. Two things can be true. You seem to be different,
sir. I mean, it ended a few weeks ago. The moment that Rhaenyra starts talking about the prophecy to the small folk, I was ready to turn my screen off. I pushed through it, but the fact that happened made me so mad. I was like, "What a disgrace!
That was weird. That was weird.
What a stupid ass choice!" And I don't know. Sometimes there are things that work okay, that decisions that are different, that it's like, okay, fine. But there are little things that are just so stupid. But that's another topic.
Yes, it is.
About a morning, it's rising, and Eddard Stark is alive and waking up. Not to imply that he dies. So at the start of this chapter, Eddard, they're traveling, and he's woken up. The king wants to ride with him and talk with him in private. It's nice to have these moments with Ned and Robert. It's like they really are the best of friends, and you can feel that, even though there is the tension of the fact that he is king now.
Well, imagine if your best friend was also your boss, and your boss was very stern, but still your best friend, but also held your entire ability to survive in his hands and his whim. And that's the feeling I get from this. They're so close, but the power dynamic exists like a wall between them that Ned sees, and Robert does not. To Robert, he just looks. The wall doesn't matter because that's his right. That is, it's he. But Ned feels all the weight of it. Ned has to carry all the weight of it. I think that is a very interesting and very real friendship in that regard, because that can exist in the real world in different ways, rarely with a king and a whatnot. But, it's a good portrayal of people, which is interestingly, this is one of the chapters that sold me on the book when I first read it. And it sold me on Ned because of his very human failing in having fathered a child, and his shame and guilt of it. I thought was really interesting. And of course, now we have very different perspectives on this scene. But I always thought, well, if he's anything he says here must be completely honest. I thought this must be the only time we're seeing absolute truth from Ned. And now I go, oh, maybe not. So
Well, yeah, there is that context when you go ahead and you have the it's Willa. I don't want to discuss it. Move on. Why? Why do you
yeah,
want to see nothing?
yeah. Why it's been years. What's the harm? And nope, not talking about it. Well,
But they
that's one
also
of the.
talk about some current things going on, like a certain Targaryen princess getting married across the Narrow Sea.
Mhm. Well, and
Uh,
I skimmed this the first time I read it because I didn't think much about Jorah, and now this casual, oh yeah, Jorah is my spy, is so powerful when upon reflection.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, that becomes such a big deal. Um, well written. I mean, just very forward thinking, well written material to this day. I think that
It
it is.
is it is incredible because I'm finally getting through. Getting through is the wrong term, but I've done everything except A Dance with Dragons. So now I'm going through that. So doing that while also reviewing this is so
Mm,
interesting because I just had a chapter with Jorah and Tyrion where
right.
he's talking about his wife and stuff when they first fled. And so to go all the way back here, it's so trippy. I love it. It's so
Yeah.
trippy.
And I mean, there's a lot of this to be. Let's giving some credit where credit is due. Now I will play a little my insider card here. Editor Anne Grohl, editor from the beginning of first encountered these books when it landed on her desk before anything was published. I worked with Anne for a number of years on the comics adaptation very directly. Have sat and had breakfast with her a half dozen or more times in various cities. Wonderful, wonderful editor. She has had such a hand in keeping George's world making sense of keeping A plus B equals C, and looking back through the books and the histories and all that, and keeping track of it. And having worked with her, she has a unique mind in that she's able to do that. So when I see things like that, I now look and go, oh, that's Anne. Anne made sure that happened. I mean, I don't know, but I do know that she's a phenomenal editor, and George is very lucky. This whole series, and we as readers have been very lucky to have her on this.
Um, Speaking of Daenerys, though, you do get this. You do get where the madness of Robert about the Targaryens and talking about,
Oh
we
yeah,
send her a sharp knife. She's but a child. That child will soon be making babies.
yeah.
That's the kind way of saying what he said. But as Ned says, she's beyond your reach, though, isn't she? Kind of can't do really anything about it.
Mm.
No point in worrying about it. If they start coming this way, we'll just send them right back. It'll be fine.
Dothraki don't like
Um,
to see.
but the problem comes when they're talking about who should be the new Warden of the East,
Oh,
because
Jamie. Yeah.
I don't understand that really. I do in a sense, but it also doesn't make a lick of sense, you know? Like,
Well, I think that's
why
kind of
the
the whole point.
hell?
It's a dumb idea.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Why would Jamie Lannister be the Warden of the East? Is he
Only
going to
because I
be?
don't even think Jamie wants it. Cersei wants it.
No. Yeah.
That's why.
But that's pretty much the end of it. They talk about a little bit of, oh, you didn't know, you weren't there when I saw him sitting on the throne. He probably got tired. Killing a mad king takes a lot out of you. I
That
do
it
love
is
that in
it's great. Yeah.
there is the extras that they did when for a Game of Thrones when they were talking about the history and they talk about Rhaenyra and it's Robert going ahead and telling the story and they talk about the fact that she got cut by the throne and that people took it as a sign and he says that's ridiculous. It's a chair made of swords. What do you expect?
I do like how base Robert is with everything. He's just so like pragmatic. So what's the second chapter we have on the table?
Tyrion.
Tyrion, right? Um,
Let's talk about a Lannister I like. Sorry. At least at this point. Yes, Tyrion. They're riding up towards the wall and traveling with Benjen. I forget how much Benjen was actually in the book
I know a lot.
because in the show he is a wisp.
Yeah.
A wisp-a-will.
Yeah.
But here he's actually there, and he's not really happy to have Tyrion around.
And John isn't either, but I mean, I love the dash of cold water Tyrion splashes on John, and everything that happens with that is one of my this interaction. John needed a wake up call in that moment. He needed a dose of reality, and through this, we get to see the cruelty of Catelyn in a way that we've seen the Right. There we are. That she did everything she could to make sure that this is what ended up. I think that him ending up the wall had a lot to do with, and he's only realizing that he was sold something that wasn't real when it's too late to change it. And I think that this is really the machinations of Catelyn playing out. We don't see it very often, but Catelyn is her own, in my mind, she's her own Cersei. Which we'll get to. We'll get to some Catelyn talk here in just a little bit. But it's, to me, this is not the most engaging chapter, save for that exchange. That's really the important part of it.
Where he talks about why he reads books are his whetstone because his mind is his weapon.
Yeah. Well, and basically John coming to Jesus moment of like, oh, yeah, this is actually not the thing of heroes and legends. This is gonna suck.
Yeah. Yep, that's just the truth of it. Speaking of things that are sucking, Caitlyn's life right now ain't great.
I don't like
Caitlyn.
Catelyn.
I say Catelyn.
Catelyn's probably more correct. Catelyn. It's the interesting thing about reading things, but long before you ever see it or hear it, we make up our own the way they should sound, and it locks it in for us in a way that can't really be erased. But I just don't like. This chapter is no real exception for me. I mean, I get that she's has a son who's in a coma and all that, and that's not insignificant, but there's just so much manipulation and guile in her already displayed before this point that I'm not in a position. I find the chapter interesting and it moves a plot, but I just cannot bring myself to feel very much empathy for her. And it seems like her own son, Rob, can't have empathy for her either.
Well, here she is very much like, especially at the start, she's a shell. She's a.
Mm,
You have the Maester come in. Hey, we need to talk about replacing this because they went up with Ned. So what are we going to do? And she's like, "You want to talk about this with me now? Really, really? I don't want. My son is here. I don't care." And that's when Rob comes in and is like, "Leave the matter to me. I'll deal with it on the morrow." And he's got to give her a wake up call, but it isn't even really him that gives that wake up call. The thing that does is, well, the half madness from
right.
hearing the wolf in the distance, because the wolf just wants to be near Bran. But that, and then the fire. Oh, everybody rushes away.
Mhm.
And then the assassin comes in. You weren't supposed to be here.
Right.
And that fight for her life, and then being saved by the direwolf who comes in and then is able to lay by Bran's lap, and she's like, "You could say it's so good." I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. I like
It-
that she gets her head back to her, like she is aware. Her brain is there. I'm rhyming all the time.
she gets back in the game, but that doesn't make her, in my mind, a likable character or person. There's just so much that is um manipulative in her. So maybe I'm being unfair, but
Eh,
it does it
eh.
leads us to her daughter, the clone of her that she's created.
Oh God. Oh God. Sansa. Sansa. You know,
Now,
eventually I do start feeling bad for Sansa, but right here at the beginning, no.
I
No.
never do. I mean, the closer I came, I think she is one of my favorite. I think I've said this before. She is one of my favorite characters to read. Working on Clash of Kings adaptation, one of my favorite characters to adapt because there is something broken in her, and it has nothing to do with her father getting beheaded. It's that she grew up on stories that she cannot let go of. She, even after her father's beheaded, she has not let it go. She just decided she was wrong about Joffrey, but the stories weren't wrong. The stories are still true. She just had the wrong. He's the villain. Now she has to find the true hero, and she never, ever, ever grows up out of this. There's a part, even though there are parts of her that grow up, that part, that cornerstone remains. And that is such good writing. That is such good writing because we shouldn't like every character. In fact, most characters should have something a little repugnant about them that make bad decisions, that give them conflict, that make us want to read them. And I flip through the book as fast as I can sometimes to get to the next Sansa chapter. That said, I actually didn't read this Sansa chapter in preparation because I thought we were doing 3 chapters, not 4. So I'm a little sad about that. So I'll let you fill in the details, and I'll remember it because I've read it before. So where are we at
Yeah,
with
we have
Sansa this time?
Sansa that's supposed to be like, oh, we're going to get to ride in the wheelhouse, which is this monstrosity of a traveling vehicle. That, yeah, they're supposed to go, her and Arya, but Arya doesn't want to do that. Arya prefers to go ahead. What are they on? They're on the causeway right now, so they're
Yeah,
going through the neck. Who doesn't
yeah,
love a swamp that can kill you? It's great. Um, and ultimately, the queen ends up canceling on her, like, no, we're not actually going to be going in the wheelhouse, but it's okay because you're going to be spending your day with Prince Joffrey. Come on down.
God.
And she is great. She's ecstatic. It
Oh yeah,
sounds amazing. Oh, I get to be with him the whole day.
it's magical. It's one of the stories come to life. She's a princess, or she's going to be a prince. She is living the princess life. She is she's living the story and she's addicted to it. And God, I freaking love reading it, but man, I don't like her. Um, the and Catelyn is the one who made her this way, who built her to be this way, who wanted her to be this person, and embraces it and encourages it and doesn't understand Arya at all. Um, it's great to flow from that chapter into this one, I think.
Yeah. Um, but the sad thing is, the day with the prince is fine for a little bit. They're riding, they're drinking wine. Oh, you can drink as much wine as you want, Sansa. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, the only thing that we can say, and we don't get to say it a lot in in this series, is that at least it wasn't a older man that was doing it,
Oof.
that was giving it. But still, he's going ahead, and then they hear something in the distance, and what is it? But Arya, oh, fighting with what is it? The butcher's boy, the butcher's boy,
Yeah.
Micah. Poor Micah. Um, and then Arya is the one who goes ahead, it's able to swipe the sword away. It's great. It's that part is great, but unfortunately, the wolf gets involved. The poor dire
Yeah.
wolf. Yeah, it's not good.
Sansa
She's crying.
ruins everything. Ruins.
Arya ruins everything. Yes. Gag me with a spoon, rolling my eyes. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. Overall,
Sansa, yeah.
I think my favorite chapter, and I don't know, it's been a while since we talked about it. I don't know if we talked about what our favorite chapters were of the little quarter we were doing. I think it is Eddard's Ned's here. I think that moment with the king is just, it is what sunk me in the most. I tried listening before today just in case we were able to get to it. And that is always the one that I just cling to.
It held me.
Um,
I held what I learned of the characters in this chapter was one of the greatest misdirects in fiction I've ever encountered because I believed it because I believed the unreliable narrator. Ned is the unreliable narrator. I couldn't imagine a reason that he would mislead. Not Ned. Sorry, blanking. Yeah, Ned. Ned is the unreliable narrator. I could not imagine a reason he wouldn't be honest with Robert in this moment when everything is stripped away, when all rank is stripped away. And it's just two old friends sitting there, and I couldn't because I just didn't realize there could be this other angle. So this now that's with the context of what theoretically is to come, because of course the books aren't there. But
yeah.
the recontextualization of this chapter, even without it, I held this as like, well, we know the truth. And so I never looked any further than Ned's explanation to Robert from this about John's parentage. I never gave it another thought because that must be the truth because he wouldn't have lied to his friend. And it's like, oh, maybe he did. Great scene, and it works on so many levels. I think it's incredibly well written. I actually enjoy the Sansa chapter more because God, I love a train wreck. I just love a train wreck, and she is just a train wreck. She is a train wreck over a bridge on fire. I mean, geez, like it just doesn't get more train wrecky than Sansa. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's it. We want to thank you for joining us, all zero of you, for us talking about one of our favorite stories. You know,
Yeah.
it's just good. It's good to have these conversations. Um, if you are in the future watching, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let us know your favorite. Talk about it. Go ahead, join us, shall you? And we will see you next week, ish, maybe. We'll see. When we are talking about the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, chapters. What is it?
Right. I know we got through Tom Bombadil.
We did get through Tom Bombadil. I think it's 10, 11, 12.
Sounds right.
Because we did 7, 8, 9 last time. So Strider, A Knife in the Dark, and Flight.
We are just rocketing through this one.
This one, yeah, we're getting through it.
Yeah, we are. So yes, next week, let's plan on it. I say that.
We will see you then. Good night, everybody.